Right, so let me share my screen as well. Share your screen. Which one am I trying to share? This one. Right. Okay. So there you all are. Lovely to see you all here. Right. So what I suggest is let me go through this stage by stage, and I'll pause for a breath, and then I'll ask if anyone's got any questions, and we'll do it that way. Um, so here you're seeing these are notes that I've prepared for myself, so that I don't miss anything as I go through this. But stop me. Well, I'll let you know when I'll take a pause and we can take it from there. So again, welcome to the FX Street Coaching Q&A. Um, this is going to be a scenario. This is a better test in that this is the first time that the premium service has launched mentoring one to one. So bear with us while we test this out for you. But the idea of this is to condense it into a month to really give you a leap start and project you further down your learning curve when it comes to trading, because this is not an overnight thing that you're just going to pick up and run with straight away. It's taken many years for me to get to where I am, and I'm here to give you a leap start, as it were. So this is going to be two personal 1 hour coaching sessions with myself, and at the end we'll talk about how you can sign up. But there's a money back guarantee to it, no questions asked. Very nice of you, FX Street. So you can give it a go, and if it's not to your liking or meeting your expectations, then you've got nothing to lose. Then, so I'm going to give you an introduction, then the objectives of the mentoring, just a quick background on myself, and then we'll talk about the sessions. So, why choose mentoring? So, I've put some notes together. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really. So, you want to become professional traders, and that is going to take time, perhaps several years. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Um, but what I'm going to try and do is get you into the fast lane in that education process, so that you don't need to go down the rabbit hole. There's an awful lot of BS out there on YouTube and all sorts, and some bad eggs amongst the good ones. So I'd like for you to be able to avoid um, a lot of the errors that come out of the trial and error process in your pursuit of becoming a consistently profitable trader. Um, there are many facets within that, including the fundamentals, technical analysis, money management, and as I said, going down the rabbit hole in finding or creating a successful trading strategy, which would include a lot of back testing, a lot of forward testing, demo trading, live trading, to the point where you're actually funding your account, and then many other factors in order to become successful. Um, so here I'm going to help you, so give you the guidance along the way to get to the point where you can succeed in this challenging career. Okay, so who is this going to be for? Um, well, you're either going to be a complete beginner, and when I say beginner, perhaps someone who's literally just picking this up um, in the last month, in the last few months, and you know very little about the industry, the very basics about, well, what even is a candlestick, what does it mean, through to the point where perhaps you're demo trading and you've been dipping your toes into live trading without any consistency. And you may even be hopping from one strategy to another, and you're still not quite there with knowing what's right for you. And that takes time. Again, it takes trial and error, because trading is a discipline, and everyone has their own style approach when it comes to your methodology. All right. So this also is suitable for intermediates, as I said, that may have already been trying live trading, but you're not there with any full consistency yet. So you're either a complete beginner or an intermediate. Those that perhaps are already finding some um, consistency in their trading, well, you might want to just collaborate with me, and you never know, you might come across something new. You might pick up some nuggets that might help fortify what you're doing and iron out some of those creases. Um, and as I said, this is for day traders and swing traders. I've got experience in both of those um, approaches. So, day trader, I'm talking about someone that comes to the screen to trade a session. You might be in Asia, the US, might be in Europe, you might be trading the crossover between US and Asia, or you might be trading the crossover between London and New York opening. So you're opening a position on the day with the objective of closing that position by the end of the day. So start of day to end of session traders, and also for those that are looking to open a position and let it run over the course of a number of days, or even perhaps position traders over a number of weeks. Um, and we will go through the instruments such as indices, commodities, cryptos, and Forex. And I prefer to stick to trading spot, cash market, CFDs. Um, so, does anyone have any questions? I'll pause there. Maybe there's some questions coming through. I can't see the Discord at the moment because I'm going through that presentation. So we'll just pause for a few seconds if there are any questions. If you can't hear, then I'll suggest your screen's blank. Okay, Discord is not foolproof. I'm going to type a message. If you can't hear, try stepping out of the event and rejoin. Right. Apologies for those that are having to be patient and waiting as we try and sort out these technical glitches. The cost is $199. All good. Okay, everything seems to be fine. No questions related to what we've just gone through. Fine. So I shall continue and be back to the questions in a moment. In fact, I can read the questions over here instead, perhaps. No, I can't. Okie dokie, we'll continue. Ross, sometimes the audio and settings section of Discord solve the problem. Okay, perhaps. For those that can't hear, please be patient. I will send a recording shortly after, so you can rewatch it and hear it. Okay, so moving on. So the objectives. Right, for those of you that might be complete beginners, I want you to understand what trading is and be able to take away a broader knowledge base of the marketplace, first and foremost, and to discover what market might be right for you, what session might be right for you, what style of trading is best suited for you. And you'll also gather a basic understanding of price action. I will advocate certain ways for which I know that work, and I'm not here to belittle anyone else's approach to markets, but for instance, solely relying on indicators and so forth, I've been down that road. I've put together algorithms of indicators and so forth, and I've had some success with it, and people do. But I will be able to give you a basic to comprehensive understanding of anything that you want to ask and try and square off in terms of your learning process. regards to trading, but I will lean with a bias to what I know what works for me on a daily basis, and that will include price action, market structure, and you'll also walk away with knowing how to manage your risk and your trades, and so forth. And for those of you that are intermediates, all of that I'd expect you to already have picked up on, or indeed we can recalibrate where you're at. If you need some creases ironed out, we can go over that um, for you. But if you're an intermediate, I'd really expect you to um, for us not to be able to have to dwell on all of that, which really you should have already got a good foundation of, so that we can actually um, focus on what might not be working for you, and what might work best for you, and to leap you forward along your learning curve. So perhaps you might be, I've written here, jumping around from strategy to strategy. So you understand risk management, you understand trade management, um, you've got your psychology in the right place, and you know how to manage yourself. You have the discipline to turn up every day, and to cut out those bad habits that we all suffer from, that may not be suited to trading and so forth. So you're there, but you're just not. You haven't quite uh, found your edge specifically, and perhaps I could point you in the right direction and help you locate that, if that makes sense, to fine tune your trading approach and become more consistently profitable. Okay, so those are my objectives for you. Are there any questions related to that? And I'm not sharing the right screen, or am I? No, I am. Yeah. Any questions? So what do we got here? Is per month or per. So this is an initial 1 month beta test. So we're doing a 1 month mentorship, and the price is that. It's not on a rolling basis, it's a one off, and then we will assess things. For instance, this is phase one. So, what we've been discussing internally, we're going to roll this out as phase one, and then we will have plans for a phase two. And that phase two looks something along the lines of, so don't hold me to it because we haven't finalized yet, but it looks something along the lines of um, additional follow up one to one meetings that would be charged per session, um, and um, a more advanced approach to day trading or swing trading. So, for instance, I'm about to give you some strategies that you can run away with and learn that work, and then you can um, calibrate those and make them more personalized to yourself with some discretionary input that might enhance your results from that particular strategy or approach. And that would be a um, more advanced methodology to trading, which you might require some mentorship towards if you can't just pick it up for yourself, if that makes sense. All right. So 2 1 hour sessions for 1 hour to kick off the event. Correct. Exactly. Exactly. Well, let me continue. So we're doing this in order, and we'll get to what you get. We'll get to the point to what you're achieving out of what you're paying for. So that's essentially my objectives. And then a little bit about myself. So who am I? Um, so all of this can be found on the FX Street website. It's essentially my bio, which I've copy and pasted there. So you can find that. Here's the link. I'll pop it in the chat. But I started way back in 2001. I think it might be my first year in the market. And I came from a sales background. I used to knock on doors selling gym memberships in the rain, cold weather of England, but I learned how to sell. and a buddy of mine um, got me into a company in Regent Street um, way back in the day, and it was a foreign exchange brokers, and I was on the sales force, speaking to financial directors, treasury managers, and so forth, and selling them a bespoke service for managing the company's risk, small to medium sized companies managing their risk, being able to cut out the banks, the middlemen, um, and achieving better exchange rates. And from there, I progressed. I went up the ladder and I moved over to the market makers that were providing that company um, foreign exchange prices on the spot market and forward market. So I was actually then thrown into the deep end just around about the time when retail trading was starting to come online, and computers were taking over. So back when I was there, it was still over the phones, using a Reuters terminal, and I used to have to manage the swap prices, and I had to do it manually, um, and I was making prices for other banks and so forth. Eventually, on the market making desk, and I hopped around the city of London for around about 10 years, working at Investec Bank, which is a South African bank, medium-sized bank in the city, and I was there as a dealer as well. So essentially, I've got extensive knowledge of various facets of the industry, but it was only really in the last handful of years, really, where I've focused more so on trading. And as I said, I've been down the rabbit hole of day trading, swing trading, trying to find my edge, in various ways in which you can approach the market for a monthly income stream, right? So that's a little bit about me. So if I put my link into the chat, if you want to follow up on some of those details. Um, you can also find me on YouTube. I did some stuff with CNBC and Bloomberg, interviewed live there as well. So I've done that twice now. Okay. Right. So that's a little bit about me. And currently I'm participating in the market on a day trading basis. That's my forte, if you like, in the market. And obviously, I like to keep an eye on what's happening longer term as well. But for me, my appetite for trading, my dopamine requires that I'm in and out of a trade within the day rather than sitting on a market that can go either way over a number of days and having to monitor that trade and manage it over a number of days. I feel that you can, well, I know that you can get the same outcome in terms of reward for what you're risking on the same day, and you're not needing to hang around for days to be paid on that. So that's my focus, but I can certainly help those that are looking for a longer term plan in terms of your approach to the market, aka swing trading. So, any questions on any of that so far? If not, I'll crack on. The platform that we would use is Google Meet. So, the one on one sessions will be held on Google Meet, and they will be during the US afternoon, um, specifically because I'm based in Central America. Um, so that's where the one-to-one will be taking place. So let's talk about these sessions. So now that we're there, so the first session will be a get together and an evaluation of where you're at, so that I can help you. Well, you can help me design a bespoke path to accelerate your learning and application of the suggested learning material. So what you'll receive in that first lesson or coaching session with me would be an hour or so. It doesn't have to be stringent at an hour, but We may need a little bit longer, but I don't want to run too much overtime because we may have others that are lined up to that I need to meet with thereafter. So the meetings will be between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. New York time. So there's enough time there essentially to get two sessions in per day over a 30-day calendar month for you all. All right. So it's fairly limited on how many people we can take on straight away for this month. Um, I certainly can't fit in 60 people into a month. So just bear that in mind. And we may need to roll it over to the next month. So it's going to be done on a first come, first served basis. But so we're going to do a background check in your first session, evaluating where you are. Then I can design a bespoke learning path for you um, and get you that material so that it will be a home study scenario. I want you to take away what we've talked about in the meeting. I'll give you a very good insight to that learning material. You take that away. You can PM me, um, not too frequently, please, though, because I can't be there dedicating my entire day to questions over personal messages because I've got other duties to fulfill, such as ask our analysts, and I don't want to leave others behind, as that would be unfair. But you're getting my time, certainly for a couple of sessions. And in fact, I'll be throwing in a follow up courtesy meeting as well, just to ensure that everything that we've gone through over the month you're able to run away with and succeed. So that'll be the first lesson. So we'll identify whether you're wanting to day trade, whether you want to swing trade, what it is specifically that you're needing help with to get you along. All right. And then we'll have a continuation of that meeting, a follow up meeting. It would probably need to be separated by a week or so to give you time to go through that learning material, or maybe even a lot longer. So that's up to you guys. You need to give me a bit of insight as to what your life is like and how much time you can dedicate to trading, learning, and what it is that you want out of this experience with me. All right. So the second session would be a continuation of that first one, drilling down to the details and getting you to move forward. And then we'll have that follow up meeting to keep you on the right track. So I presume there are going to be some questions with regards to that. Any questions, guys? Let me know. Okay, no questions coming through so far. One from Bruster coming up. And that gold price has come down pretty much to what we talked about, 2011. You were clear. I'm interested. Okay, that's great. Good to hear. Right. So, what are you going to get in terms of strategies? You might recall those that were here maybe a month or 2 months ago, or certainly before Christmas, I was talking about it, but I think I spilled some beans as well in January. I've been working on a really promising mechanical rule based strategy, which I've put together specifically to help those of you that have been um, trying to keep up with my momentum in terms of my own learning curve with regards to trading the US session. This can be applied to other sessions, but specifically, I've designed this for the 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. opening range and trading opportunities that can come out of that throughout the day of the US session. So it's a day trading strategy. Um, and for that strategy, I have, well, let me talk about it. So you're going to be required to be at your screens no later than 8 a.m. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be there every day. You're looking for one or two great opportunities per week. Um, these opportunities will turn up every day, but you do need to be there no later than 8 a.m. I advocate getting there at 7:30 to see how the the markets are setting up, because it will require some discretion as to what instrument you want to apply this strategy to be applied to per day, because it's not going to always present itself on one particular instrument. I know a lot of people love gold, and that's all they look at, or they only look at sterling, yen, and so forth. You need to be a little bit flexible with your instrument selection, and that is across the board in terms of all trading. In my personal opinion. Um, Now, so for the strategy, you're going to get a library of videos that will teach you the basics of the strategy. Um, and as I said, the strategy will leave room for personal development in terms of the system, so that you can apply your own rules, but it can also be used as packaged, as I'm going to present it to you, in a mechanical rule based strategy from the off. Okay. And it's suitable for all beginners, intermediates, or what have you. So it's something really, it's very, very simple. Well, I say that from experience, but it will not take long for you to be able to adapt this to your own accord on a daily basis. All right. Um, so the videos will include back testing. It will give you some expectations of what to see from this strategy in terms of um, the outcomes on a daily basis. So I've done quite a bit of work on this, and that's all going to be included on top of the one-to-one meetings and bespoke learning process with me. All right. So you will need to have a good understanding of price action. Now, when I say that, price action in terms of going up, coming down, knowing where levels are, understanding candlestick formations, which will all be explained. It's really stuff that you can pick up very, very quickly, but you will need a good understanding of it. So there's no point taking away this material, picking and choosing bits. You know, if you don't understand something, come back to me, ask me, and I'll take you through it so that you have a required level of understanding of price action, market structure, the volatility um, on the day, within the timings of when this is going to be applied, to specifically US indices, gold, and WTI oil market. All right, CFD spot market. Okay. Any questions on that? We'll start from this Monday. Yes, we'll start from this Monday. Okie dokie. Jammy T coming through with a question. Okay, keep throwing your questions at me and I'll come back to them. All right, so this strategy will give you an outcome that looks something like this. Okay, so this is the sort of outcome they expected to get. This was all achieved between 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. Wall Street opening. All right, so that's the outcome that we strive to achieve from that particular strategy. And it happens on a daily basis across the markets, the instruments we've spoken about. Just to get this right, do we need to be at the US opening time every day, or just on the day we have? Right. So, no, the strategy, if you want the strategy, because some of you may not want that strategy, you might just want to pick up on a few things where you're going wrong to iron out the creases. You might have your own strategy, but you want to explore to see if there's any way to optimize what you're doing. But for those that do want the strategy, this video, by the way, is ending in 25 seconds. So I'm going to hit another video in a minute. So this is about to end, and there'll be a second video. But no, this is apart from the one-to-one meetings. The one-to-one meetings are separate. This is a strategy that's included, and if you want to learn that strategy, that's down to you. I'm here to teach it to you, and you can apply it every day to your trading.